We'll start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Running Club at UC Riverside podcast episode. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm your host, Daniel Yang, president of Running Club, with my co-host, Thomas Kowalski, vice president of Running Club.
Yeah.
Today, we have a very special guest, Jorge Rodriguez. He's the West High track and cross-country former teammate of Thomas, the sister of J-Rod.
Brother.
Oh, brother. I am messing up today. I apologize. Brother of J-Rod. He's also been very involved in varsity, and let's get started.
Yeah.
Yep.
So should we just get right into it? I wanted to talk about being on varsity, because I feel like that's a huge part of our connection, I guess, but more where we grew, I guess, because
yeah, for sure. So I always knew I was gonna run since I was 5 years old. My sister, obviously, she was on the show already. She was running in high school when I was really young, so I'd be going to track meets. I'd be 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, running around in the track field. I wasn't even allowed on there, but I was just running around. People would be babysitting me and stuff. So I was always in the running culture from a very young age. So when I first got into cross country in high school at West, I automatically thought I was going to be varsity, just thinking I was just being stubborn and stuff, just being overconfident, thinking that that was my spot. Realistically, I should have been varsity my freshman year. The team that we had wasn't even that great. I was for sure top 10. It wasn't until my sophomore year that I made it into varsity, and then that's when we really started taking running seriously. Because my freshman year, no offense to the guys if you guys are watching this, but they weren't that great. But and then my sophomore year was when we really knew we actually have a legitimate chance with this team to actually do stuff. So and then my sophomore year went on, and then my junior year was my our really legitimate year to really win it all. And then senior year was when you joined varsity, right?
Yeah.
You finally got into varsity, and then
I was
I definitely got way closer. I got way closer to Thomas senior year when we started running varsity together. But yeah, we can go into the whole how we were supposed to win and stuff if you want to go into that.
I mean, our freshman year, I feel their mentality was so different from what it
so
to.
I personally feel the class of, what is that? We're class of 2017. We came in with a really strong freshman group. I would say there was 7 of us that were pretty good. I'm not even I don't even know what times we're running. Probably 17s.
Yeah, 17.
Maybe
14,
a little lower, around 17s. But we were all in the same area, except for the one runner, Carson Bix. He was shout out to Carson Bix. He's still running. You guys have had him already. That guy is super fast. He was from the very beginning, you knew he was gonna be varsity quality. But our freshman year came in. We kind of shifted the culture of the team. It was kind of from no hope to a fresh new set of guys that were actually ready to come in and ready to compete and actually had passion for the sport and was just tired of being the last team in our league.
We won every freshman race, so we had that winning culture.
I remember our first time all running together was not our first time, but our first main time was Woodbridge, and everyone remembers Woodbridge, but that was the first time we're we actually are fucking good. You know what I mean?
We didn't even know. We didn't even really know.
Exactly. So and then from there on, we knew we had a good future, and it was just gonna rely on the next incoming freshman class. And the next incoming freshman class just ended up being so good too. They ended up being even better than us. And they had 3 or 4 guys that could put up better times than all of us. So that was just really the start of a dynasty. And our year, we should have won. I feel I should have a state championship under my belt, but I don't have a state championship under my belt. But the year after we left, so when we were first year college, they actually won the state championship, and that was the first state championship for West High, and which is dope. At first, I gotta admit, I was kind of salty. I was damn, man, that was ours, man. That was ours. We would have had the parade. We would have had the banner. It would have said 2017 state champions.
Yeah,
but I mean,
top of the bus with the
man, I would have felt so good. And that's the thing. I wanted to run since I was 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like that was like a childhood dream. Like it was never like basketball. It was never soccer. It was always like, yo, I'm gonna be a runner, and that's how it's gonna be. But I definitely think my favorite years of running were definitely my junior and senior years, even though they're the ones that came with the most pain for sure.
Dude, yeah, because I feel like for me, I made varsity like our junior year, and like
junior for sure, yeah.
And I remember like I feel like the mentality for me like just like switched like from the sophomore to junior year, because like freshman year we were all good as fuck. Like I was always running with the freshman crew, and then sophomore year I was still running with like the same crew. But I think like when I realized like, oh, I have to actually like practice with the varsity crew and like keep up with them every day to like actually make the team.
But it's the cool thing about our varsity team was, I'm gonna say all of us, most of us were like very close, and it was kind of like the Lakers this year, where it was like if one of us are going to the movies, like we're all going to the movies type shit. You know what I mean? Like we're all trying to hang out together outside of school, and that was like one thing I think that like elevated our team from the rest of our team, was that like our chemistry was just real good. Like we loved hanging out with each other. Like we were each other's friends. Like we'd hang out at lunch. It wasn't just like,
I feel like we were genuine friends, not like some like XC like.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't just like, oh, we're just teammates. Like we actually like, and we all wanted to win for each other. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm faster than you, so like I'm the fourth runner. It's like, no, bro. Like I'm gonna like make sure that if I'm the fourth runner, I'm gonna try to be the second runner. And it's like I'm gonna give it my all. Like for example, so I always had issues with my shins, and that was a big part of that was me being stubborn. I feel like I'm gonna say this a lot because I feel like I was just stubborn a lot in high school. But
no,
a lot
that
of it
was the same for me too. Then
a lot of it was me like just doing like as a freshman going like supposed to go 5 miles, coming back and be like, oh, I went 7, and then my coach would be like, why'd you do that? And I'd be like, why are you complaining? Like I went more mileage, you know what I mean? But that wasn't the point, you know. It was like building a base and then working your way up so that you don't get injured, and that in 2 weeks you'd be going 7 instead of right now going 7, and you're going to burn yourself out. So I think I ended up burning myself out like really early in my career. Ever since sophomore year, I dealt with like shin issues. I have plantar fasciitis, so I need to wear like insoles and stuff. But again, I was stubborn. I never wanted to wear the insoles. The insoles didn't fit in my Vans, so I would never wear them. I was like, I'm not wearing anything other than Vans. And if they don't fit in there, I'm not wearing running shoes to school. So I just never wore them. And then come junior year, senior year, when like races actually mattered, I just couldn't have my best performance because my shins were just really, really, really damaged. And I think, I'm not positive, but like I'm pretty sure I ran with the stress fracture in like a small stress fracture in my shin my senior year of cross country. And that was like, after that, I was so defeated, man. I was like, running is just, I love running, but this is like the hardest thing I probably ever had to go through, like ever. And like, I kind of want to go. So our junior year, our sophomore year, we were like, so I don't know if you guys know, but there's like websites called like Prep Cal Track, DieStat, you know those websites, Mile Split. They all come out with their rankings. And I remember our sophomore year, we were like out of the top 100, I think. And we were like, yeah, we weren't even in it. We were like notable mentions. And we were like, damn, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, we're way better than this. But we expected that because our team was just, it wasn't that great. And a lot of like, there's no way of knowing of these incoming freshmen that are really good. So my sophomore year, that was what we had. Like, that's what we had in the back of our mind. Like, dang, they don't even want to consider us top 100. And it's crazy because they're always like, don't look at the rankings. Don't like look at what other people have to say. But at the end of the day, that's fuel. Like, you're going to use that as fuel, and you're going to be like, yo, like, put some respect on our name, you know, West High Warriors, put some respect. So that year we ended up like being like pretty good. Like, we had Yusuf. He was on the podcast before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yusuf was on that team. Carson was on that team. A couple other guys were on that team. But we still weren't at that level where it was like, yo, we're going to be like top tier. It wasn't until my junior year where our names were in the rankings.
Yeah,
they knew who we were.
Tasted it, but
yeah, they
we
knew
didn't get
like
the full flavor.
Exactly. They knew like improvement is coming. There might be better freshmen coming in too. Like that's when we were like in the DieStat rankings, and we were in Division 3 or Division 2. Were we Division 3 or Division 2?
Our junior year.
Our junior year. So yeah, Division 2. We would rank.
After seeing that loss though, like I think that really like pulled like a trigger in me or some shit. Because for me,
yeah, man.
Junior year, I was the alternate, so I was like watching from the sidelines, and like everyone looked good, and then like it's like, oh shit, like.
So our junior year, we were supposed to win it all. So our junior year, we were in talks about winning the state championship, going to NXN, and like really having a legitimate chance of like being the champions. Was that the year? That year we just had a bad race, or was that the year with Ike's shoe?
That was Ike's shoe.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah,
everything was going perfect to plan. Like we literally were like, "Yo, we're gonna win this shit." Like honestly, our main competition that we thought was gonna be like, against us was Miracosta. So all year we were racing against Miracosta. They were in our league, the Bay League, so the South Bay. All year we would
That was lit that Drew didn't like set up the practices with them.
Yeah. So in the summer we actually had practices. I can't believe it. So it would be West High and Miracosta, and we would train together at the beach on the pier and stuff.
Yeah, like once a week.
I honestly blame myself for this. I feel like it was like a lot on me, but it was other people too. But I would start just pushing the pace.
No, I think it was like everyone though, because I remember I was a part of that. Like Carson was a part of that.
Yeah, exactly. And we like it was just supposed to be like all of us like come together at the beach, and we train together, and like we have a good time with each other. We bond with each other. But for us, it was like, I don't like you. I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah.
And you guys are never gonna beat us.
Because we were focused. Like we were really thinking about like winning the whole thing. Like.
But that's the thing. They were focused too, and they thought it's funny because they thought that was their season when we were like, this is our season. Like this is our season to take. So we would speed it up, and the coach would be on a bike. The Miracosta coach would be on a bike, and he would tell us, he's like you guys are dumb. Like you guys are just picking up the pace. Like you guys are never going to win the championship. This is why you got second
at state and shit.
Yeah. And you would be telling us like dumb stuff like that. Like this is why you got second and stuff. And it's like, bro, you're like a 45-year-old grown man, like trying to put me down. Like
this is like there's like 7 West guys just running in a pack, like way ahead of the Miracosta guys, pretty much.
And he's like speeding up to bike up to us to tell us this. We're like, bro, like get out of here. You know, we're doing our own thing. Like we're running at our own pace.
If they want to keep up, they could keep up, but you're like holding them back. So.
And it ended up that year we ended up getting, was it second or third? Third. We ended up getting third.
But I don't even think Costa ranked or anything.
Yeah, Costa got like 7th or 8th. That was like, if I wasn't so sad that we lost that day, I would have been way happier about Miracosta losing that day. But we got beat by Loyola. I remember that. And we're always like, man, these guys are cheaters. They're all boys school. Like, they have an advantage. Like, whatever, right? So next year, my senior year, we lose our star runner, Yusuf. But surprisingly, we're even better than the year before. We're like, we have Carson, Caleb Hazard, Ike, me. Who else do we have? Thomas. I don't know. Overall, 1 through 7 was like washy. And then 7 could definitely come up and be 4 and 5. Like, that's why, like, that was one of my favorite teams. But that year, that was a year of, like, I honestly felt like the Golden State Warriors kind of type thing. It was like all year you're preparing for the state championship. It's like there's nothing else on your mind but the state championship. So it was like Woodbridge, oh, take it easy. You're not running the full race at Woodbridge. And for me, that was like, oh, man, so painful, man. Like, I just want to run Woodbridge and run my 15 or whatever and just show everyone that, like, yo, like, I'm fast, super fast. But that wasn't the goal for us that year, so we would just take it slow. We would tempo races, Sometimes at league meets, we wouldn't race the league meets. It was all about like prepping for the state championship.
Yeah,
And then
championship mentality, man.
what's up?
That championship mentality.
We have a little technical difficulties with Thomas.
Yeah, I know.
But,
Hey, Thomas, you good?
But no worries. We're gonna keep continuing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but so my senior year, and then so we make it to the state championship, and I remember the day before I cried. Championship, I was crying actually because my coach had told me we lost like, and we ended up getting second place this time. And the team that we lost to, it was crazy because I still think they cheated. Thomas will tell you too, but I still think that team cheated because there was people that you look on. Did you ever look on, what was that website? Athletic.net.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Athletic.net. So yeah, you would search people up pre-race. You would know what their times were and everything. And then it was this guy. That would run like maybe like 15:20, 15:30 all year. And all of a sudden he pulled out like a 14 out of nowhere. And it was like 3 guys pulled out a 14, 2 or 3 guys pulled out a 14. And then like other guys were pulling low 15s. And we're like, where is this even coming from? You know what I mean? Like I searched you all night. I know every one of your names. And none of you guys had a time like that. But it was like,
they were like injured or some shit, right?
What's up?
Weren't they like injured or something?
Yeah, they're like injured, quote unquote, all year, and then all of a sudden you come out here and run like unbelievable times. Like it's just crazy. Like at that point, being this age now, I wish we would have cheated. Honestly, being this age
what
now,
do you mean?
honestly, because it's like, bro, I guarantee you that team cheated. I believe with all my heart that team cheated. I just
like
don't
how?
believe it, man.
Like they just hid their results or something?
I don't know, man. Something was sketchy, man. They were using some H block or something, man. That day they took some meds before or something because there was no way we were losing that, man. There was no way. We had to, like that year, our senior year, we were, because I had a blessing. I was pretty like close with my coach. Like I would be on the phone with him like almost every day. We would talk every day after practice. We'd just be talking about how I'm feeling, how the team's going, like what we could do to improve. And I was just really close with him in that aspect. But I remember he was actually on the phone with so Rich Gonzalez is the guy who runs Prep Cow Track. And I think he represents California in high school cross country. So we were actually on the phone with him and we were in the meeting to go to NXN. Like we were in the holding. And they're talking about, like, if you go to NXN, you get your Oregon ticket paid to, you get all your gear paid for,
you get the whole everything.
Stuff,
like literally like
backpack,
shoes,
everything Nike. You're about to be like a Nike sponsored athlete, man. I was talking about this for like the whole season, man. I was so hyped that we were gonna go to NXN and like all this stuff,
Nike.
but it didn't end up working for us. But honestly, like my high school cross country career, like I want to say that, like, no one really had it like us. Like, no one in the South Bay area, at least, had a better 4 years than, like, this program had. Because, honestly, a big part of it is all in the coaching, though. Like, shout out to Coach Gruden. Like,
I feel like you were closest with Druden. Like, what do you think, like, how do you think the culture, like, was what it was? Like,
you see, like, when I look at, like, professional sports, especially in the NBA, like, I implement a lot of like what I see in the NBA to like the career I had in cross country. Even though it's not the same, but there's still like the same team dynamic. You still need those 5 guys in basketball to show up, and you still need those 5 guys in cross country to show up every day. So it's like, for me, I understand what it means to have like a coach, and I know when teams don't have a good coach, they're not going to be terrible. There's nothing to take them to that next level. Because Coach Gruden, he would motivate us. Like
he would almost like take us out of ourselves. Like it's exactly. Like for the team. Like,
exactly. And it's like, if you don't want to run, all you need is like 10 seconds, a conversation with him, and you're gonna want to run after that. There's no way you're gonna be able to say no, I don't want to run to him. Not because he's scary or not because of anything, but it's like it's
literally
pure
you
motivation.
could just check out that podcast and like you'll know.
Yeah, exactly. It's just energy, man. He has an energy, and it's like you actually want to run for him. It's not like it's a forced thing. Like I loved running for Druten. Like I'll give you the prime example. So I want to say that like when was that? Our junior year. We went to Kansas, right? Senior year. We went to Kansas, and Kansas is his home city. So that's his hometown and stuff. We met his family. It was like honestly, probably hands down one of the best varsity trips we've had. Like for sure. For sure. We went to Kansas. I never thought I'd be going to Kansas ever in my life. Never did I ever think I'm going to be going to Kansas.
We're like anywhere in the middle of America.
Yeah, exactly. But he honestly gave us that opportunity. But I remember the night before the race. The race that we ran is like, it's a pretty big race in Kansas. It's like a lot of the teams in the middle of America, they come to run that race. And it's like, it's kind of like a pre-nationals for them. They get to see like which the teams are good, which teams are not. And there's this one team from Kansas that was
they just always win that Kansas.
Yeah,
like,
do you remember what their name
champs.
was? Oh, St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah.
St. Thomas Aquinas. Bro, they talk about like rich school, man. This is like their gym was filled with state banners. Filled, bro. Like
every sport, like
every sport. It was like if you weren't winning the state championship that year, you failed the school. Honestly, that's kind of how it felt. Like it was like they were that dominant. But I remember the night before, Jordan came into our room and he was like no like goofing around, no anything. He was like 100% serious. Like, yo, like you guys are racing in front of my family tomorrow, and like this is like the #1 opportunity that we get to like that he gets to show off what he's doing in California and to show off to his family. Like, yo, like I'm a good cross country coach. And like every single one of us in that room wanted to run that race for him. None of us ran that race for ourselves. Like time wise, it did not matter. We went in there like wanting to dominate that race solely for the purpose of like Druten and like making his family proud. And that race we ended up dominating. Like it was crazy. We took like 1, 3, 4, like
I think like I'm usually like the 7th guy on the team or 6th guy on the team, and then like I beat like the St. Thomas Aquinas like 4th or 5th guy.
Yeah, it was crazy because we didn't even think we were gonna do that. The whole time we were thinking it was gonna be a close race. And keep in mind this St. Thomas Aquinas team, they had won that for like 15 years straight or something like that. No one in the town has been able to beat them for that longest of a time. And I remember we won that race, and I remember I was just like, I was emotional because like that was my first race back and I ran really good. And at the same time, I was just like, I was literally so happy that like we proved to Druten, and not only to Druten's family, but we proved to like the whole state of Kansas that like we are like a pretty good team. Like I remember
Juden's parents were like, bro, like what the hell? Like
they were so surprised. Like,
they're like, you guys it wasn't even a race. Like
And I remember there's like people from like other schools coming up to us and like saying thank you and stuff, because like people knew who we were. They would announce like a special team from California, like Torrance, California. It wasn't even West Torrance, it was just Torrance. Like they didn't even know who we were. Like where's Torrance? Like Redondo Beach, maybe, you know, Redondo Beach, like just by the beach. That's all you gotta know. But but yeah, that day people from like other schools were like, thank you so much, like we've never been able to beat this team. And they actually had this like super big trophy. Oh yeah, it was like a championship trophy, but we didn't get to take it home because we left to return it every year. Yeah, you have to return it the next year. But so the team that gets it every year ended up keeping it. So we got a little plate that said like we were the champions. But that was honestly like one of the best experiences in my cross country career. But back to Druten, like he, like my sophomore year, he made that trip to Monterey Park. My junior year, he made a trip to go to Portland. And then my senior year, a trip to Kansas. And like, I honestly can't even ask for more. Like that's even going on one plane with my team was enough. going on 2 planes, it's like
And
you
we did
create
like Monterey Bay and like other stuff too.
Monterey Bay too. Like these were ideas that we would talk on the phone, like yo, let's do a trip with like everyone. And it's like, yo, I'm down. Like, let's take a tour. But like, it was literally like, let's take a bus and put like 30, 40 people in the bus and let's all go to Monterey. I swear we rented out like 10 rooms in that hotel.
Dude, Juden would be a fucking monster at fundraiser too. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
Like he doesn't even sell shit or like anything. He's just like he just sends out a link like, "Yo, help out the cross country program, please." Like,
and that's the thing, like
gets thousands of dollars. Like
it's like people like him and people like love his personality and they don't mind helping. That's the thing. Like they don't mind donating.
They know it's going for a good cause. Like
exactly. And like that's really the importance of it. Like whenever any of us were down, like he kind of knew how to bring us up. And it was crazy. Like he truly did treat us like we were his kids, honestly. Like after practice, like we would go on a long run, let's say like 12 miles, 13 miles. We would come back. On the steps would just be like 2 boxes of donuts just waiting for us. Like, and it's like, it's small things like that. Like, it's like, we didn't need those donuts. Some coaches would be like, oh, no donuts, eat healthy, you know? But like, he understood, man. Like, he really understood. And like, it wasn't just about winning with him, honestly. It was more of like culture building. And he would always tell us like, the things that you learn in cross country, like, are gonna apply to your whole life, man. Like, it's not just like you're gonna do your 4
even like freshman year, he would be like, "You guys are gonna be athletes." Like
exactly,
more than just runners, like athletes. Like
exactly, and like I can genuinely say that a lot of the things that I learned in cross country, I apply to my life right now. Not even running wise, like it's just that mental, like knowing what that mental grind is will teach you so many things in life, honestly. Like
I feel like we got that championship mentality too.
We do. We have that championship mentality. We never won it. But like we have it in us, honestly. Like, and I fully thank like cross country for that opportunity because like even like we have friends that are like trying to get into running and stuff. And you can just see the mental block already, man. Like, oh, I can't go 2 miles. Like, and I know they're gonna know who if they watch this far, I know they're gonna know I'm talking about. But it is what it is, man. Like it
takes time.
I remember my first cross country run. It was 3 miles. It was wood chips. So you go to wood chips and you run back. But the way back was filled with hills, man. Yeah. And I remember thinking, I was like, 3 miles, man, that's it. Like easy.
Yeah.
So I remember I went out so fast the first mile. Mile and a half, you get to the wood chips, you're like, I was like, damn, I'm turning back already? Like, all right, whatever. And I'm turning back, and on the hills, I die, man. I start walking. I embarrassed myself, honestly. I started walking my first run. It's just so embarrassing. But at the end of it, I was like, okay, like, it's like, I go in with this mentality. It's like, I'm thinking too highly of myself. Like, I need to calm down a little bit. I need to pace myself. So there's like multiple things that you got to think about, honestly. And it's like, I got to pace myself. I got to make sure. And then on top of that, I had bad feet. So, and then I was like I said, I
feel like running though, you just learn about like yourself then.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How you deal with shit and stuff.
I think the time that I learned the most about myself was when I think it was my junior year. In the summer, I did like, I went ham. I think I never skipped a single practice. I was there like every day. I did every run. I did everything. And I remember I went on a 15-mile run by myself. And that was like, I was talking to myself by the end of the run, man. It's like crazy. The mental point you get to is like, you're really in, and the runner's high is, you can't compare that to anything, man. It's like the best feeling in the world, man. The runner's high is like, you fully feel at peace with yourself and you fully feel like connected with your thoughts and you're just running, man. It's like the greatest thing ever. I feel like we got onto such a tangent though, but
that's cool. That's cool. All right, should we go back and finish it up with the final kick?
Yes.
The final kick.
Yeah, all right, so there's gonna be 10 speed round questions and just try to answer them as fast as you can.
For sure.
All right, first question is Lakers or Warriors?
Ah, easy. Lakers for life.
Lakers 2020. Yeah.
And 2021 and 2022.
Yeah. All right. Dodgers or Rays?
Dodgers for sure. Except Dodgers, man, you guys blew it last night.
Dude,
You guys
yeah.
blew
Oh my
it
God, I
last
don't know
night.
what happened.
Yeah, exactly,
I didn't
man.
know.
I don't know what happened.
What the heck
Was
happened?
the ball was never in his glove then?
No,
it,
it's
no, yeah, I think it hit his tip. The hit the tip of the glove, I think.
Ah, damn. Okay, for sure.
Yeah, it was bad, bro. All right. Gatorade or water?
Water.
Hot or cold?
Hot for sure.
On my rest days, I like to
Watch YouTube videos.
which coach do you want to give a shout out to?
Coach Drewton and Coach Griffey.
Coach Griffey, yeah. What book do you recommend?
What book do I recommend? The Power of Now by what's his name? The Power of Now though. I forgot. Eckhart Tolle.
All right. Nice. Hey, what time do you usually wake up?
I want to say if I'm feeling myself, 10. On a regular day, probably like 9.
Would you ever run a marathon?
Yes, I plan to run a marathon. We'll see when though.
That's the last question. What's your favorite breakfast?
What's my favorite breakfast? I mainly eat the same breakfast almost every day. I eat 2 eggs, 2 bacons, and a tortilla, and I make it into a burrito. And that's my breakfast every day. Breakfast of champions.
Really good. That's really good. Okay. So you mentioned, excuse me, sorry. So you mentioned a lot of great things during the podcast. I think the theme is like it's all about luck, hard work, friendship, and that team building. With that luck, because you got, like you said, you mentioned, like you met up with all these great people, and all that is all honestly all luck. The hard work.
But I feel like Juden built that culture too. Then
Yeah,
because I was like a quiet kid my freshman year, and then Juden's just like, yo, you got to get close with everyone and shit. Like,
yeah, because I would say, like, even now, each class, like, so, like, class of 2017, we're all still pretty tight. And, like, we hang out still, like, even now that we're not running. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we run on our own time. But the class before, like, 2018, they're all still pretty close, too. And they're all, like, friends. And, like, I still keep in contact with some of them.
Yeah, we still hang out with them sometimes.
Yeah. So it's like this wasn't just, like, a cross country teammates thing. This is actually like friends for life type thing. Like it was a connection that like probably won't be separated anymore.
Yeah, and then and it's like on the theme of hard work and definitely friendship, because everyone tries really hard. Everyone's hardworking. Everyone wants to have a family, like how every sports team is. So that is really cool. You're gonna end it with the quote. This one is like talking about it says this: memories take us back, dreams take us forward. So like I felt like this was a very good quote, because childhood, right? You said your dream is running and living the dream, right? So
and then I was never able to achieve what I wanted to.
That's whatever.
Championship,
a little blimp in our life.
I might just shave my mustache and go back as a high schooler register. I'd probably pass. Just one more year as the transfer.
Just be George Ryder,
hey, that's basically what that San Diego team did, man. They just got a couple of their old runners, like made them look a little young, and that's it. They ran the race as Thomas whatever. We'll never know. Honestly, we'll never know. Maybe one day I'll work with one of them like professionally, and I'll talk to him, because even the Loyola guy is friends with is Yusuf's teammate now.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So the guy that beat Yusuf at the state championship, like the team, they became teammates at Santa Barbara, which is like pretty weird. I would be pretty salty, but.
But yeah. All right.
Is that it for the podcast?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we're just gonna end it right here. Thank you so much for all.
Thank you guys.
So many great things.
Maybe I'll be on again.
Hello, Running Club at UC Riverside fans. Daniel Yang here, president of Running Club. If you like that video that you just watched, smash that like button down below. If you'd like to see more podcast episodes and creative content, remember to hit that subscribe button right here. Thank you so much for watching.